Chance is captured, and yeah, it's not looking good. Your boy Frank Lucas is getting his opportunity to get his lick back on Chance for beating him up that time that he first got there. And Chance is telling him that he ain't nothing. Told Frank he's just another step and fetch it. And Frank ain't liking that, so he's beating down Chance every chance that he can get. And Joe Colombo comes around, and Chance spits right in his face. Man, what a bloody mess. And Frank is like, you know what? Let me take him out right now. So Frank pulls out the strap. He about to pop Chance. And he's like, nah, hold on. Right? And he's disgusted by all the blood he spit in his face. And he said, we're going to see how much your boy Bumpy really feels about you when I tell him to give me what I want. Frank, you go and send a message to Bumpy Johnson that he needs to give me what I want, or his boy Chance is out of here. And Chance is looking like, man, it ain't going to happen, but he's very worried about the situation. So here we go with Bumpy. He's getting a drink. We got Pettigrew there, and here comes Frank Lucas walking up in the door. Junior is following him with his hands on him. He's like, get your hands off me. He said, hey, man, I got a message for you. Chance is still alive, but you could get him back by giving Joe Colombo what he wants. And, of course, Bumpy's like, what the F are you doing here? Get up out of here. He's like, this is your chance to get Chance back. And Bumpy gets mad. He's like, you know what? Put it around his head. So your boy Pettigrew pulls out the strap. He's like, hey, nah, easy, man, easy. Anything happen to me, Chance is gone. He's like, pull it before I do it myself, right? And Pettigrew was like, nah, they're going to take out Chance if I take him out, right? There's got to be a better way. Next thing, your boy is about to have a heart attack. Your man, Bumpy Johnson, stressing himself out over Chance, over this whole situation, and he starts to go into cardiac arrest. Look at that right there. Would you ever think that Bumpy would be going through cardiac arrest, especially in this situation? A lot going on. He's stressed out, and they go to his rescue. Another chance, right? Frank gets another chance and gets up out of there as he sees Bumpy Johnson is going down with a heart attack, right? Man, Bumpy, are you okay? You got to get him to the hospital, call 911. So Bumpy is now in the hospital. He is knocked out, and all of a sudden, he comes through. Chance! And he doesn't realize that he's in the hospital, of course. Mamie's there, the doctor's there. She's like, calm down. You're in the hospital now. And then he's like, I need to get up out of here. I need to go save Chance. And he's trying to take off the stuff that's going in his nose. And the doctor's like, I can't let you do that. They're trying to hold him down. Mamie's like, calm down. Your boy is going off. We got to give him a sedative. So they give your boy Bumpy a sedative, and he is knocked out. Man, I don't think he's ever been in this situation before, and he just automatically springs into action to save one of his oldest friends because it's not looking good, right? So they knock him out. Of course, Mamie, great wife, being there for her husband. She says, I love you, and gives him a kiss. This is not a good look for Bumpy right now. So here we are, and we got your boy Sadiq, and he is putting together this very intricate bomb. And they are continuing to talk about using this bomb to make a statement in the community. Afeni Shakur is not with this plan. What are we really saying? Of course, at least she's with it, and we need to just place a bomb at this precinct. It's an empty precinct, 135th. Nah, that's not going to work. And, of course, this guy right here, he's not with it either. At least she's all with it. She's like, when the cops' cars come around, everybody gets shook. And one of the guys, Jamel, he's real amped about it. He's like, how about when they come out and see their cop car all blown up and seeing fire come out of it? That'll make a statement. That'll scare them. Afena's not with it. She's like, we're here for defense. We're not here for any of that. And your boy Sadiq is like, listen, it's done, and we got the bomb ready, and they look like they're going to move forward. My question is, who's the real leader of this thing, right? This guy here, he's like, we need to do this and make that car blow up. And Alicia's looking like, man, this guy's really hype about this thing. He really wants to make it happen. But Sadiq is with it. The only person that's not with it is Afeni Shakur. This is not the statement they want to give. So Frank throws some cold water on Chance to wake him up. And what does he do? He comes in, sits down, he says, hey, man, we got to get this thing going, man. And here comes Joe Colombo again. And he's like, looks like your boy doesn't care about you and you are of no value to me. So it's time to take you out. And Chance is like, no, wait. He's like, hold on. Oh, we didn't tell you. We forgot to tell you. Go ahead and tell him. Your man Bumpy had a heart attack, so definitely don't need you now. And as he's pulling out the strap on Chance, and Chance says, oh, you're going to need me because I'm second in command. I'm next up. So if Bumpy goes out, then I'm the next one up because I know where the money is. I know where the underground stashes are. I know where it is. And Frank is like, nah, he BS. And Columbo's, you know what? Maybe he's not. You know what? You just bought yourself a little bit more time. We're going to see how this is going to work out. And your boy Chance, man, they call him a traitor. Your girl Stella gets a knock at the door. She got the strap ready. And who is it? Olympia Gigante re-enters the Godfather of Harlem. I thought I'd never see her again. And here she goes, prancing in the door, talking about, I'm here. It's your stepmom. You gonna let me in? She's looking around. Nice apartment. Man, Stella put that strap away. She need to pull it back out. So she offers her some tea, and she's like, oh, I'd rather get something stronger. If you got some brandy or whatever. She's like, it's the middle of the day, lady. What's going on? Why are you here? And she's like, I remember taking care of you and reading you bedtime stories and all of this and that. And she's trying to be all nice and be all nice up to Stella. And she's like, what are you doing here? It's like, well, you know what? You took my life away. You took my life here in New York away with my friends and everything else like that. I think it's time to pay back. She's like, yo, you tried to get me whacked, remember? You tried to take me out. She's like, well, it is what it is. I never held a grudge and whatever. But I'm telling you now, it's time for me to come back and it's time for you to pay for what you did. She's like, it's time for you to leave, Olympia. She's like, yeah, I'm letting you know now. I'm giving you a warning. Payback time, right? For what you did to me and the family and everything else like that. Right? So we'll see how that goes down. Mamie is in the hospital and your boy Bumpy's sleeping. She's reading James Baldwin. And your boy Bumpy is in a dream state. He is drifted off to La La Land, and now he is seeing himself in a diner. And he's sitting there wondering what he's doing there. And he got a whole full plate of food, fried chicken, like some mashed potatoes on the side. He looks to the side, and who does he see? Malcolm X. He's like, man, I missed you, right? He's telling Malcolm how much he misses him because that was his best friend, right? His really good friend. He's like, I know you miss me. He's like, yeah, I'm going through this and I'm going through that. Man, I need your help, right? And Malcolm says, you know, a man has to find his own way. One way or another, he has to find his own way. And it's all about planting the seeds, right? He said, hey, I stopped selling doogie. And Malcolm's like, yeah, you're still selling women and you're still gambling and doing all this and that. He said, yeah, planted the seed in Elise, and now she's a Black Panther. He planted that seed in her. And that's a good thing. He said, I can't tell you what to do, but absolutely, it's time to make some better choices. So Bumpy puts his hand on Malcolm and he's like, this is real. You're real, right? And Malcolm looks at him and he says, I'm in you. Pause. And Bumpy wakes up from his dream to his beautiful wife, waiting for him to be there and say, hey, you drifted off. And she's rubbing him and taking care of her husband. So the cops roll into our favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner spot. And they are there. And, of course, Mrs. Green, she knows exactly what they want. And they roll up in there saying, good to see you, smells good. Elise rolls up and sees the cops rolling up in there, right? So they go sit down and she goes up to Miss Green and she's like, hey, cops, they come in here every day? And she's like, yeah, do, you know. Okay, same time, you got the same meal and everything. What you plan on doing? Oh, you know, we just trying to make a statement. She's like, look, you know, blue blood ain't the blood you want on your hands. She's like, well, you just trying to make a statement. You cops always scaring us. Time for us to scare them. And Miss Green is opposed to it. She's like, girl, don't even think about it. Don't even do it. Not what you want to do. You don't want that on your hands. She's like, well, I'm Bumpy Johnson's daughter. So I gotta do what I gotta do. So Frank brings Chance a sandwich to eat. And he's like, yeah, I figured you needed something to eat, right? So he's eating the food and the whole nine, and he sits down with Chance. And, you know, Frank thinks he's big and bad. He's like, yeah, you're not all big and bad now, right? Talking mess to Chance. And Chance is like, man, look, I don't know why you down with this Joe Colombo guy, but you know what? You need to be on our team. You need to let me go. He's like, man, forget all that, man. Bumpy ain't give me a chance. He said, look, man, I used to be just like you, man. Fresh off the bus and the whole nine, came up in here. And I was just like you, robbing and stealing from everybody and the whole nine. And I went to Bumpy. And Bumpy said, heck no, can't work for me. And what did he do? He gave me a book. And I read that book. And then he gave me another book. And I read that book. And you know what? It's not about me robbing and stealing. It's about changing my mindset. Once I changed my mindset, then he gave me a job, and I work with him now. And Chance says, you can have that same chance if you just let me go. He's like, man, I'm going to take my chances with this guy right here, man. Give me that sandwich again. I think you had enough. All right? That's it, man. And he's not listening, but your boy Chance is just trying to let him know how to really get on with Bumpy. So back at the food spot, we see the cops come out, and looks like a Black Panther. Yeah, Jamel, he's out there smoking. He throws the smoke on the ground. He's like, hey, pick that up. He's like, F you, pig, right? Gets in his face. He's like, you know what? You're under arrest. And everybody's like, what's going on, right? So they put him in handcuffs, and he easily just turns around for whatever reason. Like, he ain't even fighting them or whatever. Here comes Miss Green. She comes out there. What was he charged with? Oh, for loitering and, resisting arrest, right? And they put him in the car and they wheel him off, man. And everybody's like, oh my God, this is crazy. Y'all arresting him for nothing. And they going crazy out there. You trying to fight the power, and they like, this is an injustice. Why are you arresting this man? He was just smoking out here. And they making a whole big deal, right? Whole big deal in Harlem. You arresting this black man for nothing, right? People are in an uproar. They hate the cops. They just like, man, this is terrible. This is an atrocity, right? So they pull over and they tell this guy, Jamel, to get out of the car. And they take the handcuffs off. And the cop says, all right, tell me what's going on. Are you telling me Jamel is a informant? Yes, he is. He's a spy. He's a mole inside the Black Panther Party in New York. Very disappointing. He's like, yeah, they got a bomb. Okay, when they gonna set it off? Where they going? He's like, I don't know. Can I go? He's like, nah, you'll go when I tell you to go. Go find out when it's going down, how it's going down, and come back and let us know. He's like, well, get taken away from the cops. They ain't gonna believe me because, all beat up or whatever. He's like, nah, they gonna believe you. And he signals to the other cop, and the other cop punches him right in the face. Yeah, they believe you now with that bruise on your face that you was brutalized by the cops. Meanwhile, back in the hospital, Mamie, great wife, taking care of her husband, making sure he's getting his drink on. And she's like, yeah, you was out of it, for a little bit. He's like, yeah, I got to make sure, Chance is alive. And, Bumpy is just really, really hype. His heart rate's going up. And she's like, listen, you need to calm down, take care of yourself. Things are going to work out. Chance is going to be all right. And whatever you tell me, I'm going to tell Pettigrew. And Mamie's being such a great wife, it's like, look, you need to focus on you. You need to get better. Not only for Chance, but you need to get better for all of us, for the family. And she proceeds to rub his temples. Man, I know that feels good, boy. And that puts him right to sleep, boy. I mean, a good woman, when she rubbing on your temples like that, man. So Bumpy looks over and he sees another vision of Malcolm. But Malcolm is looking at Bumpy while he's sitting in the chair. And he says, am I dreaming? And he's like, yeah, things happen in dreams. He's like, my best man Chance may be gone, and that's on me. He's like, I need help. I'm running out of time. And Malcolm laughs and says, look, you got to get to know every part of yourself, even the weak parts. Fear pushes us to propel to the best parts of ourselves, but we have to be conscious of everything about who we are. He says, think on that. And he turns to the bed and puts his hand on him while he's talking, and he's in the seat. This is very introspective and cinematically pleasing. And Bumpy wakes up out of his dream of seeing Malcolm once again. And his beautiful wife, Mamie, sitting there like, oh, you off to sleep again. So Joe Colombo is paying off Frank for doing the job as far as the ambush and also capturing Chance, because that gives him the advantage. He's like, nice work, right? Gave him some money. Of course, Frank is about to leave. And your boy Joe is like, hey, Frank, wait. Got some more work for you to do. And, Frank just wants to get up out of there, go back to his girl, do what he need to do. And this guy, Vinny, stands in the way. He's like, you got another job? Give it to Vinny. Yeah, he's standing here doing nothing. He's like, yeah, what I need you to do, take some smarts. Vinny's not that smart. No offense, Vinny. He's like, nothing taken. It's like, yeah, here's a big job. I'll give you $10,000 to do what? Yeah, take out Bumpy Johnson. And Frank is like, man, look, I don't know what's in this drink, but you got to be crazy to think I could take out Bumpy Johnson. He's like, wait, hold on, He's in the hospital right now. He had a heart attack, remember? It should be easy to do it. Frank is like, look, they got guards, they got this, that, and the third. He said, listen, can you do it or what? $10,000 is a lot of money. She's like, you know what? I could do it. So Frank is convincing himself that he could take out Bumpy Johnson. And with $10,000 extra in your pocket, yeah, back in the 60s, that could do a whole lot of things. So he accepts the offer. And yeah, Frank gonna make the final blow and take out Bumpy Johnson while he's laid up in the hospital. Wow. Let's see what goes down. But these two have been plotting and planning, and it seems to be going well for them, but we'll see how long that lasts. Frank is taking on a whole lot right now. Let's see if it goes down. So now here we go with Olympia Gigante. She's going to see Tommy. And she's like, oh, it was good to see you, right? Oh, it was good to see you. Yeah, I missed you. He's talking all like, I missed you and all of this and that. Yeah, we used to have a thing. And she's like, yeah, we used to have a thing, right? And he's like, look, I'm not here for all of this. Like, I just want to know why you're back in town, what's going on. She tries to grab his hand and they try to get it on again with him. And he's like, nah, I'm not here for that. What's going on with you? Why are you back in town? Well, it's time for me to come back home. It's that stepdaughter of mine, she had it out for me and she definitely is going to have it out for you. She's going to try to get you taken out. And she's just trying to plant a bad seed on Stella to get Stella out of town, boy. And he's like, really? And Tommy's just sitting there like just to her and listening to her. And she just going off talking about Stella and how she ruined her life. And she just wants to come back to New York to get her life back, to get her friends back. And yeah, he's just there listening to everything that she is saying. So while Elise and Sadiq were talking about his son being in the Vietnam War and the government checking the letters that he sent home, here comes the cops raiding the Black Panther's apartment, boy. And they coming up in there like everybody stand against the wall, stand against the wall. You know the procedure, stand against the wall, right? And then going up in there, violating, no warrant, right? No warrant, just roll up in there, everybody. He's like, tear up the mattresses, right? Cut the mattresses. So they cutting up the mattresses. They looking for stuff. They trying to look for this bomb, right? Because obviously Jamel told the cops that they got a bomb, right? So they looking and searching, and it's like nothing. Ain't nothing in here. There's nothing here, right? So they proceed to walk out, and the Phoenix Shakur says, yeah, you raided us and came in our apartment with no warrant, huh? You ain't have no warrant, did you, pig? And this police officer punches Afina Shakur right in the face. What? Elise steps up and says, you son of a b, boy, and looks right in his face, grilling him. And he just looks at her. They're taking photos and everything. And he's like, he walks out and says, yeah, take all the cameras too. Take all the cameras. She's just standing there mad like, yeah, I wish you would, right? Because he recognizes Elise. He must recognize Elise as being Bumpy Johnson's daughter. And he don't want no problems. If I remember correctly, he was probably one of the cops that put a needle back in Elise and forced it on her. So, yeah, he remembers. Elise goes to comfort Afina after that attack. Crazy. So here we are. We're at the hospital, and there's a guard outside of Bumpy Johnson's door. Frank stole a doctor's outfit. He put his mask on and a whole nine, rolling up in there with some doctor's equipment, and he just walks right in, and the guard just lets him go in the door, right? So he rolls in there with his little mask in disguise, about to take out Bumpy, and he says, hey, can you help me out? And he gets the guard in there and punches the guy out, right? Puts him on the ground, closes the door. And yeah, here we with the attempt on taking out Bumpy Johnson. He takes his mask off and he pulls out this knife. He is about to jig your boy Bumpy Johnson. He's laying there. He pulls out this switchblade. It's about to go down, family. Is Frank gonna do it? Oh, hell nah. You already know. Your boy Bumpy got the strap. He pulls it out on him. He's like, stand right there. Drop the knife and kick it under the bed. So he does that, right? He's like, get on your knees, right? He's like, please have mercy. He's like, man, I gave you chance after chance. And now you come in here try to take me out? He's like, you got to be out of your freaking mind, right? So he's cursing out Frank. And he's about to pop. He's like, yo, this is your last chance, boy. This is it. And he's about to pop Frank right there in the hospital. He's begging for mercy. And Frank starts praying to his mama. He said, mama, I try to make you proud. I think this is the end for me. He starts praying to his mama right there on his knees while Bumpy is about to pop one inside of him, right? And he's praying, mama, I didn't make you proud and all this and that, right? And Bumpy, as he's about to squeeze the trigger, all of a sudden, he looks to the side, and who does he see? He sees a vision, once again, of Malcolm. And Malcolm is like, look, man, you know, we letting the oppressors separate us, right? He's like, man, this man's about to take my life. And, of course, he's looking in the corner. Frank's looking in the corner like, who are you talking to? And Malcolm is like, we got to stop letting them divide us, and we have to come together because they divide us and we attack each other. And this is Bumpy's subconscious mind, and Malcolm speaking to him, and he's listening, and he's like, man, like, no, Malcolm, you right, you know, because Malcolm said he's in him. And yes, Frank is looking in that corner like there's nobody in that chair, but whoever it is helping out Frank. So Bumpy lays back, and he's like, get up, right? So he tells Frank to get up, and then he tells Frank to send a message to Colombo to meet him down in the hospital in this room tomorrow by himself, right? And he spared his life. I'm sparing your life. Go send that message to Joe Colombo right now. So Frank gets to live another day, and your boy is listening to his subconscious mind, and yeah, he's still. So here we go with Tommy meeting up with Stella and Pino, and he's like, okay, what he said? And Stella said, she said what you said she would say, that you trying to get me whacked and you trying to get her whacked and everything else like that. I think that we should take her out, man. And Stella's like, no. And Pino's like, yo, like, I knew her before too. Before, you know, your father married her, I knew her, man. Yo, Tommy's right. We need to take her out. She's nothing but trouble, right? And Stella's like, no. And he's like, listen, I don't know, you know what you're thinking about, but, yo, she can make trouble with all the families. And Stella's like, no. What we're going to do is we're going to scare the hell out of her so that she never comes back ever again to make trouble with us, right? So that's her plan. He's like, okay, what do you want me to do? Tell her that you already took me out in the whole nine and that it's all good and to meet you somewhere, right? And then he says, okay, what's going to happen next? Leave it up to me, right? So they got a little plan. So here we are back at the Black Panther hideout, and they're talking, and they're like, man, you know, like, cops know to come up in here and look for whatever bomb, right? And they're like, yo, we got a mole amongst us. And your girl, Elise, is like, listen, I can figure this out. I can figure out how to get the mole out. We can smoke the mole. You know what? This mole may be sitting right here at the table with us, and we don't even know it. She's like, okay, well, we find out who it is and who's been telling the cops, whatever it is. And here we go with Jamel, right? And the Phoenix like, yeah, you know, I'm probably the mole, right? Because, you know, if I was a mole, I'd allow myself to get punched in the face, right? And then she's looking at Jamel, and Jamel just looking. He ain't saying nothing because he got a bruise in his face, but also Athena has a bruise on her face from that cop attacking her, right? So here we go. Olympia's rolling down the street with this guy driving. She's doing her makeup and the whole nine. She's happy, right? Because she believes the lie that Tommy told her that they took out, Stella, and everything is good. So she's rolling back. She's like, how would you like to be my driver? And the guy's like, yeah, I like that. So again, she's doing the makeup. She thinks she's going to get a life back in New York. She was told to go back to New Jersey, but nah. This guy, he's going to drive for her. And she's like, yeah, how long we got? He's like, yeah, we got about, bam. A car crashes into Olympia's car. And who is it? Pino. Pino gets out of the car, pops a couple into the driver. She's yelling like, ah, you traitor, you traitor. What are you talking about? You know what? I'm telling you right now, don't ever come back here ever again. And then she's like, you a traitor? She's like, I'll show you a traitor, right? So he has this crowbar and he takes the crowbar and he proceeds to start wailing on Olympia's legs. She's like, my legs, my legs. Ah. She's screaming. He's wailing on her legs like, don't ever come back ever again. Don't ever mess with the Gigante family ever again, or any of the families, right? So he's going in on her legs and she is screaming and he's like, oh, my legs. He's making fun of her. Oh, my legs, my legs, my. Just runs off, right? So your boy Joe Colombo gets patted down and the guard allows him to go in. Mamie's sitting there, sees him come in, and yeah, Bumpy's good. He's sitting in a chair. He's like, oh, Mrs. Johnson, good to see you. And she's like, yeah, I wish I could say the same, right? She's looking at him, like rolling her eyes like this guy right here. So she walks out and these guys sit down. So he's like, look, man, what do I need to do? What's the number for me to get Chance back? He's like, how about 5%? And Joe Colombo's like, are you crazy, man? I got to answer to the families, man. You know what I'm saying? How about 25? Bumpy's like, 15, right? He's like, no way, no way. How about you do this, right? He's like, I'll give you 15, but I'll let your guys work. He said, listen, now here's the deal. Give me 20, right? And I'll get 15, 5% to go to the family, and you get my guys to work on your entire project for all of this, right? So your Bumpy does what he has to do, makes the deal, and he walks out the door with Mamie and Junie. While they're walking out the door, who do we see rolling in a wheelchair? Olympia's rolling in and she sees Bumpy and she recognizes Bumpy as she's rolling in there with a neck brace. And of course, they're going to take care of her legs. So the cops roll up to what looks like a warehouse, right? And they get out. It's like, yeah, it's about to go down right here. And they got a lot of stuff in here. So be on alert, right? So they go in there. They got their flashlights and they put a flashlight on somebody. Who is it? It's Elise. She's like, I'm not holding anything. I don't have anything on me, but everybody else does, right? So all the Black Panthers come out from the dark, turn on the lights. They got straps on all of them. He's like, look, you don't want no problems, man. Like taking out the good thing. She's like, I'm not going to you, but I can't guarantee they won't, right? All we want to know is who's the mole that's telling you what's going on with the Black Panthers, right? He's like, you sure you want to do that? I ain't telling you nothing, right? She's like, look, you know who I am, right? You recognize me, right? I'm Bumpy Johnson's daughter. And my father taught me a couple things about persuading people to tell me what I want. And in the background, you see this shadow open up a door and come through, right? So they looking at this shadow. And who do we see? Yeah, we see at least, yeah, I'm about to make you tell us what we need to know, right? So who rolls up? Yeah, here he is. You remember him from the other seasons. He's like, introducing to you, Big Dick Willie. And he's grabbing on himself, grunting the whole nine, looking at the cops, boy. You already know what he about to do to get these cops to talk, right? So here we are, Bumpy's home with Mamie and Junie, and Pettigrew is home. And he's like, hey, man, I heard that you gave up a piece of everything, just to save me. He's like, yeah, she ain't leave my side, but of course I do it, man. You're my oldest friend. I realized that without you guys, I'm nothing, right? So, of course, Chance rolls over, tries to give Bumpy a hug, and it's a little bit too tight. And Mamie's like, easy, man, easy. The man just got out. Easy, relax. And Chance looked like he gonna cry, but the thing about it is we can't forget that Chance was ready to give up information in order to save his own life. Give up information that's where Bumpy's money is and the whole nine. So Jamel was sleeping, and he opens up his eyes, and he sees a big pillow get dropped on his head. Somebody is trying to suffocate him, and he is struggling. And eventually, he is out. Who did that? Sadiq. Sadiq took out Jamel. Jamel is the mole inside the Black Panther Party, telling the cops what's going on. Elise is there watching it go down and the whole nine. And Sadiq has taken out the mole. How many more moles are in the Black Panther group? We don't know now, but we had to take them out. And Sadiq says, our strongest power is our unity. That's all we got. And Elise looks at him, and yeah, she agrees. So another solid episode from The Godfather of Harlem. This one was called The Visit, and yeah, there was a whole lot of visits. Nobody really was taken out except for Jamel. I'm looking forward to seeing how Frank Lucas turns the tables on Joe Colombo, because Bumpy spared his life not once, not twice, but 3 times now. And if Bumpy is correct, when Frank Lucas turns on Joe Colombo, he said that he and Frank will take out Joe Colombo. We shall see on the next episode of The Godfather of Harlem.